Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. So today's episode is going to be a review of Rupaul'S Drag Race UK Season 1, Episode 6. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. I'm still on the road to 1,000 subscribers and I'm less than 400 away. So please subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you're back and you haven't subscribed yet, I just think it's about time to subscribe. So yeah, let's get into the podcast. So obviously, last week our girl Crystal went. In the last episode, the producers were being really shady with their edits and kind of alluding to a rivalry between the Vivian and Bag of Chips. But obviously in the beginning of this episode, we kind of see that there's actually a rivalry between Davina and the Vivian because Davina feels like the Vivian is not putting any respect on her name. Throughout the podcast, I've continuously said that Davina is obviously insecure and she kind of seeks validation. And, she admitted it in this episode. She admitted that she needs validation. But I just feel like Davina was doing too much. I get it. I used to be somebody who seeked validation. I'm so happy that I grew out of it. I just feel like Davina is doing too much. Like I've said, if in a competition, it doesn't really matter what your competitors think. It only really matters what the judges think. What do you think? Do you feel like Davina was entitled to feel like everyone's disrespecting her talent? Or do you feel like she just needs to, tunnel vision and focus on herself? Cheeky mini challenge was the BBC challenge. And, it was only a matter of time before they did it. And it was as cringy as you could imagine. To be honest, in that mini challenge, I was a bit underwhelmed. I think they should have found better models with better junk. I was midway in the episode, cue to Cheryl Hole. After talking all of that shit about Something Wrong and how she said that Something Wrong didn't really have much to offer, Cheryl was feeling the heat and she basically admitted that she knows that she's the bottom of the pack. She knows that she's the shit. She knows that she is basically a bottom drag queen. She's kind of freaking out. And it's just, you reap what you sow. She loves to talk that shit, but, we already know she was in the bottom this week. And I feel like we all knew she was going to be in the bottom this week. It was just a matter of who she was going to be in the bottom with. So we have another kind of sob story this week. And this week's sob story is the Vivian's sob story, where she kind of reveals that she used to be a drug addict, to the point where she was almost killing herself. I guess, she must have ended up in situations where she was in hospital and the doctors were like, if you carry on, you're not going to live till 30. She didn't really allude to the drugs that she was addicted to. She just kind of said that they were party drugs. She's a success story. She turned her life around and she's 2 years sober now. Now, I was actually really surprised because Vivian, as a person, seems very disciplined. And maybe that's why she's so disciplined and controlling, because it's a way that she challenges that energy as somebody who is 2 years sober. So that was really interesting. Obviously, with drag queens and stuff like that, that's the club scene. And, the club scene automatically attached to drugs. So yeah, I think that was a cute little success. I think that was a cute little sob/success story. Even though I don't know the Vivian personally, yeah, I'm proud of her to be able to, be 2 years sober and be such a good quality drag queen. So moving on, there wasn't really much going on this episode, but moving on, so the category for this week on the runway was a rainy day theme. The best outfit was Davina. Again, Davina, she comes with the look. She has bought the best looks consistently. I think she has the best wardrobe in the competition. And it was flawless. We had the reveal. We already knew something good was coming under the jacket. It's Davina. Look, I would rock it. And yeah, it was rainy painting realness. She had her classic red wig on, and I feel like Davina really can't go wrong on the runway. The worst outfit was Bag of Chips' outfit. It just looked like a pedestrian outfit, and then she just tried to make it eleganza with a little head thing on it, but overall it just looked cheap. but I guess that's on brand for Bag of Chips. I think the next worst outfit was probably close to Cheryl, because even though the jacket was nice, the pants just looked absolutely cheap and cheapened the whole outfit. It's probably one of her better outfits, to be honest, as an ensemble. But I just feel like when you look at your outfit as a whole and then you put on the shorts and you saw, okay, this looks hella cheap. You know, she was better off just going out with tights and a tuck, to be honest. Obviously, the main challenge was to create their own brand of water. And kind of, in terms of like looking at like the behind the scenes stuff, I thought that the winners would probably be Bag of Chips and the Vivian, and I thought that the bottom would probably be Blue Hydrangea and possibly Cheryl, or possibly Davina, depending on how it came across. Obviously, this is before I saw the full product. So obviously, once I saw the full thing, I thought that Vivian was the clear winner. I think Bag of Chips was good too. I really liked it. It was really funny, really on brand for Bag of Chips. Davina's obviously was well constructed, but it wasn't really fun. If I wanted to buy water, I wouldn't buy hers first. I just feel like it was very corporate. Obviously, it was quite funny with the whole, you know, they don't really do it in the UK, but if anyone has been to America or watched American ads, literally, like, when I went to America, when I went to go visit my relative in Dallas, I was watching the advertisement, and there was like some pill for indigestion, and then literally at the end it was like, might cause heart attack, skin irritation, this might result in death, like really fast. That's literally how the adverts are in America. So that was funny, but like I said, it wasn't what I thought was the catchiest advertisement. So I thought like Vivian was the clear winner, and obviously she did win. In terms of who I thought was bottom, I thought Blue Hydrangea was the clear bottom. Like, her ad was everywhere. Like, the beginning was supposed to be this political thing, like bringing it home for the gays. Irish laws are discriminating against me. Then it was love yourself. And then it was love yourself. Then it was, oh, you can be a diva, like you can be a superstar drag queen, you know, totally unrelated to the political message that she said in the beginning. And then she was just giving the bottle a blowjob. It was just like, what the hell's going on here? So I already knew instantly Blue Hydrangea was in the bottom. And the thing is, you know, people tried to warn her, but she didn't take you know, the criticism well. So I already knew she was in the bottom. And then after that, Cheryl. But the thing is, Cheryl's one wasn't necessarily bad, but it wasn't good either. I just feel like because the other ones were so much better than hers, she didn't really stand a chance. So again, she was automatically in the bottom. So I already predicted that Blue and Cheryl were going to be in the bottom. So obviously the judges say they critique. Cheryl is actually here today. And yeah, she looks cute. She looked really cute today. You know, the fillers had set. Because some of the times her fillers be looking crazy, but her fillers were very nice for this episode. And she looked really cute. So she was there. She kind of got into it with Michelle Visage. I don't know if that's real or fake, or if like nobody likes Michelle Visage. She does become across a bit like bitchy sometimes, like overly harsh. I don't know. How do we feel about Michelle Visage? I couldn't really imagine Drag Race without her, but is there anyone that thinks maybe there should be somebody else? Or not? Let me know. Yeah, so obviously with the critiques, after the critiques, obviously they go back to the lounge or whatever to sip the cocktails. Bag of Chips kind of feels like she's in the bottom, and like the other girls are telling her like, you should prepare for the lip sync, and she's like, oh, I don't really know the lyrics that well. And she was just like, you know, she doesn't care, she's just gonna go out there, and if she's shit, she's shit. And you know, Vivian is getting really upset, and she's saying like, oh no, like you can't just give up like that, you know, go learn your lyrics, blah blah blah. I already knew Bag of Chips wasn't gonna be in the bottom, and I'm not really sure why she thought it was. Obviously there was a bit of criticism, but I don't really think it was that harsh. Obviously Cheryl Hole backed her, I think. Did she? I think Cheryl Hole backed her. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Cheryl Hole backed her. So I'm not really sure why she thought she'd be in the bottom. I think maybe she just second guessed herself. But yeah, she was just like, you know what, fuck it, like, what, I'll just play it by ear. And to be fair, the lip sync song, Cheryl Call My Name, is a very simple song. Like, you could probably get away with it. Like, most of it is just a dragged out note, really. So I can see where she was coming from. But then, obviously, her and Vivian have become quite close. But at the same time, Vivian has admitted that she thinks that Bag of Chips is her biggest competition. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just hella shady and really competitive. But if Bag of Chips was like, oh, I'm not going to practice for my lip sync, I would have been like, okay, cool, like, that's your own choice. But I wouldn't have hyped her up to, like, learn her lyrics, because at the end of the day, there's only one prize. But yeah, would you, if you were in Vivian's position as a competitor, would you have told Bag of Chips, try to encourage her to learn the lyrics, or would you have just let her do whatever she wanted to do? Let me know. I'm not sure if Cheryl thought that she was actually in the bottom in the workroom. She was quite relaxed. I feel like she thought maybe she'd be safe. And maybe she kind of just thought, oh, well, Bag of Chips says that she's going to be lip syncing for her life, so it must be her and not me. So yeah, she was very cash, I think. But I think obviously because obviously she's a big Cheryl Cole fan, so she already knew the lyrics to that song anyway. And then of course Blue Hydrangea kind of knew she was kind of lip syncing for her life. I feel like she knew she was lip syncing for her life as soon as she got off the set, because she was saying, I think I did shit. So obviously they go back to the judges. Vivian wins. That was a clear win. And then obviously Blue Hydrangea and Cheryl Hole are in the bottom, which I predicted. Now, I was really excited for this. I was excited because obviously Cheryl Cole's been talking that talk like, oh, she's, once I get in the lip sync, like, I'm going to kill it. Like, I'm going to show you what I came here to do. And then Blue Hydrangea, up until that point, I personally believe she was one of the better lip syncers. Maybe not as good as the Vivian, but potentially. But she was a pretty decent lip syncer. She was a high energy lip syncer. And, somebody where we could see a bit more choreography. So we already knew what we could expect with Cheryl Hole. We could expect some death drops or whatever. The hand movements that she was doing in her promo, we could have expected that. So I thought it was going to be like a toe-to-toe iconic lip sync. And after watching that lip sync, obviously there was a clear winner. But I was disappointed. Even with Cheryl, I was disappointed. Blue Hydrangea, I don't know what she was doing. That was, I think maybe even Vinegar Strokes could have beat Blue Hydrangea in that lip sync, really. Because she was just everywhere. I don't know, there was no choreography. It kind of just felt like she was just screaming the lyrics and then waving her arms in the air. I just didn't know what she was doing. I think because obviously she was dressed like an anime character, and it was like she was doing the lip sync in an anime character as an anime character. But it's like, you're lip syncing to Cheryl Call My Name here. This is like, pop, almost R&B, but not like high energy pop. This isn't no like candy floss pop. So I'm not sure why she was doing candy floss choreography. So at that point, I already knew Blue Hydrangea was going home. In terms of Cheryl, I was impressed, but I was still underwhelmed. The thing that I actually liked more than her doing the death drops and, the hand movements, that hand move, was when she wasn't doing that. I feel like she has really good stage presence. She has really good stage presence. Like, you just look at her, like, she was owning the stage. She didn't have to do that thing where you stand in front of the other drag queen and try and throw them off. She owned that stage. Her death drops needed some milk because she definitely did not land all of them. her last move, she landed that was cool. But you know, some of the more kind of more modern, contemporary kind of bits she kind of stole off American drag queens were not hitting. But I think she has a really good stage presence, and I think she's good enough perhaps to, I'm not sure, maybe the Vivian or Davina, but I think she could take Bagger on, because she's definitely going to be in the bottom next week. I'd be very surprised if Cheryl wasn't lip syncing again next week. But yeah, what did you think of Cheryl Hole's lip sync? Did you feel like it was a good lip sync, or were you a bit disappointed? Were you a bit underwhelmed? What do you think? But yeah, I highly doubt Cheryl is going to make it to the top 3 comfortably. I think if she does make it to the top 3, it's going to be a lip sync. But who do you think Cheryl Hole is going to be lip syncing against next week? Because I just feel like she's going to be lip syncing. Because depending on what the challenge is, it could be either one of all, because even though the top 3 competitors are all strong, they all have particular weaknesses, and they all have at least been in the bottom 3. Obviously, the Vivian has lip synced for her life, but Davina and Bag of Chips have been in the bottom 3. And obviously there's only 4 left. So what do we think, guys? Does anybody for some miracle feel like Cheryl Cole could make it comfortably into the top 3? And does anyone think that Cheryl Cole can make it into the top 3, period? And, you know, in terms of lip syncing, who do you think she's going to be lip syncing against? You know, obviously, I think the obvious option would be Bag of Chips. But, you know, you never know with this show. It could be anyone. There could be a shock lip sync battle win. So on Twitter, a lot of people are saying that Davina was robbed and that she should have won the challenge. And a lot of people are rooting for Davina and saying that she should be the winner. What do you think? Do you think that Davina should have won the challenge, or do you feel like Vivian was the rightful winner? Let me know. So again, it's mixed on the timeline for Vivian. Lots of people are saying that they really loved her runway, or some people are saying that, you know, they don't really want her to win. People are saying that they just don't like her. Like, they can't help but not like her. I personally love the Vivian. I know she's a bitch, and I love that she's a bitch. But yeah, what do you guys think of Vivian? Lots of people are saying that Bagger should have been in the bottom and she should have been the one that went home. You know what? Her runway was quite bad, but I personally liked her commercial. I thought like she was one of the stronger commercials. I liked hers more than Davina. But yeah, what do we think about Bagger's placing today? Do you feel like she should have been lip syncing for her life? What do you think? Are saying that it was the wrong decision to send Blue Hydrangea home, and that she was like the underdog of this season. I feel like she had the potential to be a dark horse, and I thought she had the potential to be a dark horse. I thought she would be at least top 4, to be honest. I thought she'd at least last another week, but I feel like in terms of if we're judging it off performance plus the lip sync, I feel like this week it was the right decision for her to be sent home. So it's kind of a mixed bag for Cheryl. A lot of people are saying that they don't think that she should have been in the bottom. A lot of people are saying that they think Bag of Chips should be in the bottom again. Bag of Chips coming up again. Again, I have to disagree. I loved Bag of Chips' commercial. And even though I wouldn't buy her water because I wouldn't buy fish and chip flavoured water, she sold it well. And, you know, I feel like their runways were both as rubbish as each other. I feel like Cheryl's was a bit better than Bagger's, yes, but it was an amazing runway. Some people are saying that Cheryl should have left instead of Blue. Obviously, Cheryl won that lip sync like fair and square. A lot of people saying like she's like the best lip syncer and she should win because she's the best lip syncer. But I did see one comment that said that, you know, Cheryl is their best lip syncer, which I agree with, but she would get bodied by, you know, 20 US drag queens. And I have to agree. I feel like, you know, if Cheryl was to compete, in the US drag queens. I feel like by this, you might be able to survive like one lip sync, but the rest of them, you know, the quality of lip syncs by the US drag queens are just immense. Like even, you know, Ariel Versace from, you know, the latest season, she wasn't a great lip syncer, but she wasn't a great lip syncer, but she could probably beat Cheryl, because the quality of lip syncs haven't been that great from the UK queens for this season. But the thing is, I think they could have found queens that did have good lip syncs. Like, you know, in terms of British people, we're not really known for our rhythm, but I feel like they could have found more queens that could do a lip sync. But to be fair, we haven't seen Davina lip sync yet, and she has been saying, I'm a dancer, I do choreography, and the split that she did last week was smooth. So, you know, who knows? Maybe Davina could actually be the best lip syncer. But in terms of lip sync quality, it hasn't really been that high this season. And obviously it's going to be renewed for season 2 now. The BBC did their little promo at the beginning. It's back on BBC, so no, there's not going to be any, like, you know, trips to LA, all exclusive prizes. It's back to the repeater badges. So I feel like at least half of the candidates for next year have to be strong lip syncers. But I feel like there's probably going to be more people in the next season. And in terms of general comments on the lip sync, you know, people have agreed this is probably people are saying this is the best lip sync so far. I don't agree. I feel like the best lip sync was Cheryl was Crystal and Something Wrong. I feel like that was the best lip sync for me. But yeah, it was a good lip sync, I guess. Good performance from Cheryl Hole, really. And, you know, and lots of people have been saying that they didn't like the remix, because obviously Call My Name, they did a dubstep remix, and I didn't like that either. Like, the original one is just like so good, and I feel like that would have made it a better lip sync. I feel like Blue Hydrangea would have been doing less of that arm movement and banging on the thing, because it's kind of like, what do you kind of do with the dubstep, you know? You know, dubstep tunes are not really friendly lip sync performance songs. So yeah, that's kind of the end of my that's the end of my podcast. Do let me know what your thoughts were on this episode this week, and who do you think is going to be lip syncing for their life next week on the road to the top 3. So yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. So yeah, till next time guys, bye.